Hello, this is Data Trader Pro with a nightly market wrap. I apologize, we haven't done one of these in a little while. I've been busy doing some site work on the back end, some things that you don't see. And also the market's been in a very tight range for a few days to a week. We had a little corrective move, but never really got a good downside move started as we thought would happen. Instead, we coiled in a tight range, had a couple of chops up and down, and nothing really happened for quite some time. The market thinned right out on volume for the past week, and certainly we had a long weekend last weekend for Easter. And leading up to that, was very, very quiet. We had some of the lowest volume days on the SPY that I can remember. A good day in SPY is 130, 150 million. Some really big days are 200 million shares traded. We had days with 40 million traded, so a third of a regular decent day. So things had thinned right out. Also, when that happens, you can think that maybe market's coiling for a move. Either way, we got a move today. There was as most of you know, there was a Fed speaker, Fed chairwoman Yellen, was Yellen today, and she gave a speech. It wasn't an official Fed speech. I think it was a lecture at a university or something like that. Anyway, the market was waiting on her every word with bated breath, and she came on at about 12:20, and you can see when we had a neutral range day called, it invalidated today because when you get Fed speakers, anything can happen, and the algos and the bots and the buy programs kick in, and it overrides any of the market internals sometimes that you had in the morning. So Fed days are one of the days I don't take market internals too seriously, because they can turn on a dime, literally turn on a dime when they switch on the machines. So and you don't know which way they're going to go beforehand. So although I'll show you some things in the block trade space that were very interesting, that gave a little bit of a clue, but unfortunately a little bit later than we would have liked. So the dollar weighted buying pressure gauge, which is our own index of key market moving stocks, was neutral, very neutral, light to the buy side, but very light to the buy side. Until Chairwoman Yellen came on, and then they liked her dovish comments, and buy programs kicked in, and up we went. We barely had a downtick, so we had an initial spike up, and we just kept going. So the DTP McClellan, our version of the McClellan oscillator, intraday McClellan, also same timing. Started out bearish, but not heavily bearish. Rotated into the sort of neutral to lightly bullish, and then popped and kept going. Net issues combined, same thing in this time period, this 1220. Net volume, the same, combined net volume. So let's look at the breadth space. Breadth was bullish, certainly on the Russell, and we'll look at the Russell a little more closely later. Russell was the most bullish of the advanced declines. Net volume was almost pegged as well. All of the advanced declines were bullish. Net volumes, NYSE was definitely bullish, but the least of all the major index measurements. The odd part of this is that we had a pretty extreme internals move and a huge percentage move on the Russell, but Trin was quite bearish actually on the Russell 2000. So a little bit of divergence there, but we had a monster move. So I'm not sure if they started selling these later in the day. That would be my guess, is they started some profit taking, and that's reflected in the trends. Nasdaq Trin is I would say in the neutral to bearish, and NYSE same thing. Volatility space started out positive, meaning volatility was up. VIX was green, VXST was green, VXV was fairly neutral, but volatility, as soon as the market turned midday, volatility got slaughtered, and so the VIX is now at or under 14, which is quite low actually, and the VXST is in the 12s, which is very, very low. So, volatility up move can happen anywhere here. The fly in the ointment is that for anyone playing volatility, and most people playing volatility are using ETFs such as VXX and XIV, the amount of contango, which is the relationship of the front to near month VIX futures, meaning the front month is much, much lower price than the near month, the next expiry, is about 10.5%. So this creates a negative roll yield, which means a loss for VXX every single day. So even if this is we're going to get a pop in VIX in the next couple of days, VXX is going to have a very hard time gaining ground with this kind of contango situation. UVXY and TVIX, the leveraged long volatility exchange traded products, double that contango. So basically, was that about 21% contango effectively for a huge negative roll yield in them right now. So this was starting to move up, but it's fallen right down. So we got a little move up there. I don't know what happened. So the volatility space got killed, but is now at effective lows, really. So I don't expect volatility as measured by the VIX or VXST to drop significantly from here, since we're already very low, but we'll see what happens. Certainly bullish buying pattern today, but whether that lasts, a lot of these Fed type speaker events lately have been reversed in the next day or two, but we'll have to hang on and see what happens tomorrow. Where should we go from here? Yeah, basically the major indices, they're all positive and all pointing in the same direction. Note that Dow led a lot of this continuation higher in the later stages of this rally off the February 11th low. It seems to be running out of steam here. So Russell was lagging in the last week or so and was way behind the other indexes. It's now caught up a fair bit of that today. Look at the divergence between those. This intra-index divergence is generally to measure the health of the market. And when you see huge discrepancies or divergences between how the indexes are performing, that's generally not a healthy market move. The only thing I would say about this particular situation is that they're all pointed in the same direction. It's not like you have Russell that's ahead 2% and the Dow that's negative 1 or 2%. So they're all pointed in the same direction, but note that the Dow, which was the leader, is running out of steam. Could only manage 0.7% up today, while the Russell was almost 3%. Whether that's simply rotation or we're coming to the end of a move, we'll have to see. I want to move on to the block trades right away, and the thing that I would note about the block trades today is, we're showing block trades, large institutional trading. These are almost exclusively done in dark pools. The feed is consolidated, so it'll actually take the regular consolidated feed plus the dark pool feeds and mash them together into one feed. So basically we'll get everything above a certain size on these charts. But what happens with the dark pools is that depending on where they are located on this earth, whether they're in London or Singapore or with these institutions who are doing these block transactions, the dark pools are in the States, but they have different reporting requirements if they're overseas. They can report late even if they're in the States, but they can report much later if they're overseas. They have different reporting requirements. So what we saw today was, and unfortunately, this was the earliest one we saw. This came out at 1:13. Basically they were, what we're seeing here is late prints. So prints that occurred here, or even, late the day before, but probably around here just before the pop. Meaning, smart money again knew something that the rest of the market didn't know about which way the market was going to go in advance. And the only real clue we had was a little bit later when we started getting some of these late block trade prints in. Now, the SPY didn't have a ton of them. There's a million, there's, two 501K prints here. We often see the 501K prints. QQQ saw them come in much later. I mean, for this to be reported at 3:15, that would have had to happen back here. And Yellen's speech was afternoon, so about 2 hours before they were buying hand and fist, but hiding their buying in the dark pools, right, and reporting it later. So pretty much the most sneaky type of market moves you can make. But now we know. Now we have a level for support, and on QQQ it's roughly 107. So 107 on QQQ, the 203.30 level on SPY, certainly price is above there. So that'll be, if SPY comes down, that should be initial support. Here, this situation on IWM illustrates the issue the best. So related to this level, certainly in the 10:30. Between late, just before 10 o'clock and 10:30, they did all their big buying and reported it late. So it was easy to see after the fact when these guys started coming in that probably that was going to be support and the market would go up. The IWM today, since it was the strongest, showed the most number of block trades, and that's not terribly surprising. They were buying and buying and buying and buying. So look at all these 503, 503. Same price, same size, roughly within a few shares, over and over and over and over again. So that that's your simple line of support here. 107.34, mid 107s, I would say. Below these prints, below 107.30, things start getting bearish for IWM. And that's basically it. I wanted to show you the block trades. Volatility ETP space, VXX, not a lot, just a lot of little guys, nothing really huge in this space as of yet. So we'll be waiting to see big buys. We'll be waiting to see the corresponding sells come in size. And you should get, after a move like this, you should get sells on SPY in the 3, 5, 6, 8 million print size if we're going to go down. And we're going to see those on highs. We haven't seen that yet, so we probably don't want to anchor in on any shorts until we see those kinds of things come in. The last little bit I want to update is for subscribers. We have, if you look up here, we have live stream. I'll click on that. And live stream is just a little chat function that I installed on the site recently and have been testing it. Please feel free to use it. If you're logged into the site already, you'll already be logged in for chat using your username. Feel free to use it. I will be in there most of the day providing market updates as they happen. And yeah, it'd be great to have a good community of users using that. And we can, I can teach you a little bit more about how to use the site and what readings we're getting and what they mean live, which I think will help a lot of people. Anyway, that's it. That's our market wrap for Tuesday, March 29th, and we will see you soon. Thank you.